What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week. We're back with the bourbon, with the bullet glass. E3 is here. Lots to discuss. Let's get it started. Oh, the time is here. It is finally upon us. What is going on, everybody? Once again, welcome back to the channel. We are having a special bourbon with us tonight. Let's go ahead and get this started. Back with the Four Roses. This is a different product they have. This is a single barrel. It's very good stuff. As the name implies, it's all from the same barrel. You get a very consistent flavor, and you can pick up little hints of fruits and berries. I call it magic. It's magic in a glass. It's very smooth. It's not near. You still have the little, kind of the bitterness of the bourbon. It's distinct. You're always going to have that, but it's very smooth. It's very much a sippable bourbon, just on the rocks. It's delicious. And what better way to celebrate E3 than with some good bourbon? Hope everybody's doing well, and I hope you've enjoyed your weekend and so far. And kicking off this week, some sort of an unorthodox way that they're releasing some of their products. I was going to say specifically Arcade1up, but kind of everybody else too. It's kind of odd. So you've got some stuff going on from other companies, and let me just go ahead and just start off. I put this in the title, Unico Announcement ? Because I wasn't exactly sure what was going on there. What were they going to have? I hated the thought of I was going to be able, missing out on that. So what they actually revealed or released or announced was not much. A lot of, hey, just wait. You're going to like what's coming up next. We have other stuff coming out, but that was really it. They talked about the product itself and moving that forward, which is good. I think you've got to do things to continue to sort of build out that existing product and make that better. They didn't want to call it a straight up 2.0, but they did make some incremental changes with the MVSX, but it really wasn't anything new. They did tease new stuff. Hey, we're going to announce new stuff. And I'm not a big fan of coming out, going on our YouTuber's channel and saying, hey, just wait, hold on. E3 is not over yet. We got a lot more to tell you about, but then they don't tell us anything like specific at all in any way, shape, or form. There's no like, hey, we're thinking about this. We're kind of doing this. This is the type of announcement we're going to make. Nothing. So that's I don't know. It's disappointing. It's frustrating because what that tells me is that maybe they don't have a lot to reveal. I think that the right way to do it, if you want to do that, do what you did on Unqualified Critics stream and talk about, hey, these are incremental changes. We're not giving up. We're not moving away from this product. We're going to, do some incremental changes, but we have something physical. We got a physical thing to announce to you this week. It's coming out. So be ready, stand by. Let us know that there's going to be something. Cause right now what that tells me is that just nothing. I mean, it was just sort of, okay, well, if that's the way you're going to start out, no, I'm not like going to hang on you every word at all. I'm just going to, okay, well, I just get back with them maybe after E3 and see what everybody else is talking about. When you have companies like Arcade1up coming out with actual product announcements, stuff that was leaked, but they really hadn't talked about before. So from their perspective, these were like brand new stuff, right? The Big Blue cabinet, for example, that was brand new. And that's even before E3 really kicks off. So I thought that was a little bit of a letdown. Damn, because I really wanted Unico to kind of, if nothing else, tease what it is that they're going to be announcing or bringing to us. I don't know if they were going to have a full-blown reveal, legit announcement on his channel, but that would have been nice. So in any event, let me update my screen over here. Apologize for that. So the Unico announcement, unfortunately, was not much of an announcement. They said more to come, but is what it is. So with that being said, iArcade had a little bit of announcement, didn't they? Another one of their streams. I just caught that before I came on here. I was in the chat saying hi to everybody, eating that up because it wasn't like a release of an old game. I think this is technically a new game, but it was Mutant League Football, which is something. I mean, if you're a Sega Genesis fan from back in the day, I was a huge fan of that franchise just because it was something different than just regular football. And back then, football emulation, football games themselves weren't that super, in depth. And so it was still sort of top down view, generic in some ways. So if you couldn't lock up that license, Mutant League Football was a great way to have like a spin on that. This is before NFL Blitz. So it was in that sort of vein, over the top action, craziness, beheadings and monsters and aliens and stuff. And you could really play with the names of the teams and stuff like that. So that was fun. So that could be interesting. I'm still not quite sold on the on that product, on that arcade machine. Looking forward to see what else that they do. I think they've got that one black edition, Double Dragon artwork. That looks dope. I mean, it looks good. I dig the look of that. I like the big ass speakers in your face. I think that's awesome. But for me, it's like it's going to take a little bit more, just a little bit more. But in any event, it is what it is, right? So I also wanted to take just a second before I get into some of the in-depth conversation that we're going to have with the Arcade1up mystery bag of announcements. It's kind of odd. I wanted to reveal the results of a poll that I put up a couple days ago. Maybe it was one day ago. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. And let's talk about this because this is actually kind of interesting, some of these results. It was definitely, it was trending a certain way. Oh, hold on. Give me just 1 second. I got to cancel that. I got to come over here. Yeah, I was watching the poll and it was definitely going a certain way. And then it sort of swung wildly the opposite direction. And I kind of snuck a fifth option in there that may have, sort of torpedoed the whole damn poll itself. Okay, here it is. All right, now let me share my screen. And we can talk about some of these results together because this was it's kind of interesting. So here was what I posted 2 days ago. I said, well, I hated the big blue cabinet, but now I may need to buy it. I'll explain more about that in a second. Which newly announced cab will you be pre-ordering? I was trying to be very specific about not which one do you like, which one do you think looks better. I wanted to get down to the nitty-gritty in this and say, hey, which one are you actually going to pre-order? That tells me that you're so sold on it. It's not just looks for you. It's not just the games. It's not just some of the other I'm swapping over here. Give me just 1 second. I'm trying to load this up. It told me that you were legit going to buy this thing. So it wasn't just, oh, I like a certain aspect of it. I like it enough to where I'm actually going to pre-order this thing. So you can sort of see that my fifth option took the cake. But Simpsons was at 22%, and I had 189 people voting. Thank you so much for those that actually voted in the poll. Almost 200 votes is a big deal for a small channel like mine, so I appreciate it. Simpsons is sitting at 22%. Capcom, the Big Blue is at 15, kind of coming in almost dead last. This is what's kind of shocking. The people are still excited about Pac-Man. I think it was this combo, the Miss Pac-Man Galaga, the 1981 combo. I think a lot of people were pumped about. I was not aware that it was going to be in that high of a demand. This one is not a surprise to me, though. Turtles in Time, 10%. And we'll talk about that in a second, too. We're going to go over these four in not extreme detail, but in some detail. And then, of course, number 5 was Waiting for Killer Instinct, which, listen, I put that in there because every time I go on Arcade1up's Twitter, Instagram specifically, their Facebook page, and they announce something, they announce some random countercade or whatever, people always have the same thing. They're like, hey, this looks great. Where's Killer Instinct? Or they say, this looks like garbage. Where's Killer Instinct? I mean, everybody's asking about that. They released that. They talked about that. It's January 13th, mid-January of this year. And nothing at all. We may talk about that a little bit more in just a second. But yeah, so there you go. So there are your results. Simpsons is still leading the charge in these 4, I guess. But as the title of this video sort of implies, or the title of that actual poll implies, okay, I got some crow to eat, and I'm going to go ahead and eat that crow now. I'm going to make a nice little bowl of crow. I don't know how crow tastes. Am I out of focus? There you go. I don't know how crow tastes, but I'm going to try to make the best of it because I was dogging on that big blue cab. Okay. I think maybe a lot of y'all were too, or some of you were, maybe not a lot, but some of you were. I think it looked like garbage. I didn't garbage may be a little bit stronger of a word, but I just thought that it was very plain. I understood the look that they were going for, but they were trying to use the stock components that they had. It seemed like they just took a third-gen control panel and just laid it down, and they just stretched out the top to kind of get that look, but I wasn't really feeling it at all. But I was like, well, the games, and at the time, we see the leaks, and just to remind everybody, I got this written down. So the leaks said in my video a couple weeks ago when we discussed those leaks in extreme detail, the big blue cabinet was listed with a stool for $499. So I thought in my head, okay, it's a new cabinet, a stool, $499. It's going to have like 4 games or something. Just what is it going to be? Is it going to be just a rehash of that first gen cabinet? It's what I actually thought, to be perfectly honest with you. That turned out not to be the case. It turned out to be it's actually got a pretty good games list. So why don't we go look at that right now? Let's jump on over to boom, Arcade1. Now before we go any further, this is a little weird. So they've been talking about. Let me scroll back over. They've been talking about E3. Sign up here and get your updates for E3 coverage and all that and everything. And stay up to date in E3. And of course, I'm getting these E3 announcements, these emails. I don't know, 8 to 10 hours, sometimes a day after I already know what was announced because everybody else is talking about it or it comes out. So that's not really, a good way to stay up to date. Definitely stay tuned to channels like mine and others who are really monitoring this stuff and getting the inside scoop just for you, working real hard just for you. And, but this is kind of weird the way they word this. So here it is, Arcade1up E3 announcements, and here they are. You click on this, and it just shows the 3 cabs in question. Now, it's very possible that they could just add to this page. But at first glance, you're like, wait a minute, is this it? Is this all they're going to talk about? Are these all the announcements? Just these 3 cabs? And you scroll down, and it gets go into more detail. But you're like, no, please no. And we'll see. We'll see. Give E3 a few more days. I'm not exactly sure when they're going to have their event. They're going to live stream, or what the hell the problem is, or what's going on, or what channel they're going to be on. I'm not exactly sure yet. So we'll keep our ears and eyes out for that one. So let's look at the big blue, the one that I was bashing. So we see that pre-order date of 7/1. Don't know where. If you scroll down, it doesn't really tell you the partners you can actually pre-order this from. So you got to just kind of keep your eyes peeled and see where you're going to be able to pre-order this. I don't know if this is going to be something that's going to sell out immediately like other stuff does, but here it is. We're not going to rehash the shape. I'm really interested. Can you see my cursor? Yeah. I'm really interested at this seam. I think we talked about this last time. This seam where you're stacking, looks like you're stacking panels to get that extra height. You got your riser and you got this panel here. I'm really curious to see how they're going to interconnect those. If they're just sitting on top of each other. Not sure about that one, kids. I'm not sure about that one. We may have to do a modification there to strengthen that up. But when you look at the games list, so first of all, the fact that there's 12 games was surprising to me. The fact that it has Wi-Fi, or let me say that combination, 12 games of Wi-Fi, is surprising to me. I thought maybe that was going to be, Wi-Fi and a couple games, or maybe 6 games, but no Wi-Fi. I didn't think that combination was going to exist, but it does. But it does indeed. And the games list is quite impressive. I don't like the way they do this. You got to actually scroll through. I wish they just had the games listed out. So at first glance, and I got to issue a correction now. My first video, I said there were 4 Street Fighter 2 games. There's not. The 4th game is Super Puzzle Fighter, which actually makes this cab that much more of, dare I say, a legacy cab. This really, when you look at the selection, this is going to lead into another question I'm going to ask in just a second, but look at this variety. So you have 3 Street Fighter 2 games, which is fine if you're talking about a 12-in-1 cab. 3 games, okay, that's fine, no big deal. That's actually a fairly decent amount, considering all the variations of Street Fighter 2 that there were. Super Puzzle Fighter is a game that I still have this sealed for PS1. Haven't cracked it open yet. I bought this for PlayStation 3. It was something that me and my wife would play. A cool puzzle game, but your characters would actually fight each other based on what you did within the Tetris sort of puzzle game you were playing. That's fun, and that has replay value. I'm just telling you right now. That's almost like a party game. Darkstalkers 1, 2, and 3. Hell yeah. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. If you're going to have a fighting cab, if you're going to try to incorporate another series. If it can't be Alpha, it's got to be Darkstalkers. And you got all three. I would have rather maybe liked to have seen Darkstalkers 3 and then throw an Alpha in there. Alpha 3 would be primary. You know, that'd be like the one to go with. And then you still got another slot open for something else. But I'm not going to hate on this because at least you're getting all three games. Something that Arcade1up hasn't done in the past. We did get the one Darkstalkers on the, I think that's on the, yes, that's on the Legacy cabinet, and it's on the Black Series head-to-head, which I have, by the way. I'm still enjoying that. Got to do that mod, though. Video posting soon. But then you get into some of the weird stuff, which I say weird in a good way because this is the variety I'm talking about. This is some of the different stuff that we haven't seen. Saturday Night Slam Masters. Knights of the Round, which is a nice beat 'em up. Eco Fighters, it's a shooter. It's fine. You know, it's not as popular as some others, but once again, nice variety. Capcom Sports Club, variety. And then the Muscle Bomber Duo, I think, is pretty much just like a sequel to Saturday Night Slam Masters. A sequel or maybe just another variant of the same game. But there's some pretty good variety there. And so that begs the question that I teased earlier. Who wants a Legacy cab? Is this going to replace the Legacy cab? I don't know. I have another question. I got another example of maybe why possibly some of these new cabinets could be replacing these Legacy cabs. Is that a stretch? I don't think so. Think about the value. Think about what you're getting. If this price point is correct, the $499 for the Big Blue with the stool, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Compare that to the Legacy at $399 with no stool. And remember, with the Capcom Legacy cab, you're stuck with that control panel, which has been a highly controversial piece. With the Big Blue, you don't have that. It is sort of angled down, which some people may not like, but it does go wide. It goes all the way. So it's going to sit on top of both side panels. So you don't have that issue. So your comfort level, if the angle doesn't throw you off, is going to be what you could expect or should expect from a third-gen cab, which I think is pretty good. I mean, for what it is. It could be better, yes, but I think it's pretty good. I don't know where you can even get a Capcom Legacy cab. There's one place. There's that RC Wiley that I bring up in some of my videos that still has that, but that's $399. You got to pay $100 to ship it. That's just in the States. That's in the US. I can't even imagine what that would be to Canada. The Brick may still have something, but I haven't checked, to be honest with you. But just in the States, that's the only place you can find one. Best Buy, nope. GameStop, no. Walmart, no. Home Depot, no. And even even Lowe's. It has the Namco Legacy still in stock, but that's it. I don't think it ever had I never saw a listing for the Capcom Legacy. I saw a listing for the Midway Legacy, but that's it. So where can you even get a Capcom Legacy cabinet? Is that planned obsolescence? Is that, damn, you know what? Let's back up and punt. Maybe we made a mistake here. Maybe this isn't giving everyone exactly what they want. So let's back up a little bit. We got the Big Blue on the way. Maybe we just slide that out and we just pull back the Capcom. That saves some retooling. That saves trying to redesign a cabinet that they've already committed to. Maybe they just bite the bullet, sell what they've already made, and just, that's it. And then, I mean, do you discontinue the Legacy? I don't know. They're really good at repackaging everything and put it into different, cabs. I mean, I think that the game selection on the Big Blue is actually better. It's so good that I'm considering getting the damn thing. This is a guy who doesn't like the design. I think it'll grow on me. But like anything else, the cab design, the graphical design, the appearance is going to be secondary to your gameplay experience. So if the control panel is correct, if the monitor is unobstructed, if the games list is on point, I can deal with a Big Blue monster. I can deal with, the Papa Smurf, Eye of Sauron, baby that we got there, the abomination of those two mystical, fictional characters. I can deal with that if I've got a great games list. I'm comfortable enough with their control panels and their buttons and joysticks that I can rock with that for a while, and I can swap that out pretty easy. I think most of us can. That's not that big of a deal. I think this is sort of moving in the right direction, I think. That's just me personally. So that's the question moving forward tonight as we continue to talk about stuff. Think about this. Who wants a legacy cab now? Now, with Midway and the Mortal Kombats, you don't have a direct thing you can swing to. If you were on the fence about the Capcom Legacy and maybe you've had one pre-order, or maybe you're still trying to find one, you can just give up on that and swing over and pick you up a Big Blue. And I think that scratches the itch, right? Mortal Kombat, not so much. Mortal Kombat, based on the leaks that we saw, you're not going to have another stand-up cab to sort of pivot to. They have a head-to-head coming, but you're stuck with the Midway Legacy for now. Maybe they come up with something else. Maybe they're working on something else. I don't know. They could retool something and rework something and change that form factor. Call it a new product, even though it's the same board. Maybe change up the game lineup just a little bit, just enough to make it different. And then, hey, there you go. You can pivot to that, and they can just pretend like the legacy cabs didn't happen. It's happened before. It's happened before with other companies, with larger companies with bigger products, more prominent products. They've done it before. Where let's just pretend like that didn't happen. That just look over here. Don't look over there. It's possible. At least with the Capcom for sure. And the fact that I can't find a legacy cab, I don't care. I don't care. Unless the damn Big Blue falls over when you play, I'm not yearning for a Capcom legacy right now. Knowing the games list, knowing I got to remake my damn control panel, I'm not interested in it. I'm not. But I've neglected the chat far too long. Let me say hi to everybody. What the hell is going on? You have some comments to read. Fox, what are you doing? What is going on? Constorm Entertainment. If it's anything like is it to waste your time, all they're showing off is a riser and some damn buttons. Yes, they showed off a riser, but they already have a riser. I mean, I know they wanted a riser for the riser. I know the height is almost never ideal, but talking about it like it was like this is a high concept. This is a prototype. It's a riser. Dude, it's a riser. We all can make a riser. Nobody's, enamored by your riser concept. Now, if your riser was like hover, had lights in it or something, that'd be one thing. But the fact that it's a riser, they could have even just said, listen, we're going to make the standard riser that you buy. We're just going to make that one taller. Moving on, you could have said that. So Sergeant Sneakers, let's go. Let's go indeed. Greetings all. Majanian, come back, man. Come back to the light. Come back to the light. Somebody talking about Twilight women? What? It's been millions of years for me. I've been busy on Mount Olympus. But hail Greek mythology. And I love let's say now you're mixing Greek mythology and the Star Wars universe with your blue Twilight women. I'm not hating. I'm just curious how you got there. Just curious how you got there. Prezi start button. I don't know what that means. Hey, what's going on, man? 8-bit, my brother. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by, man. What's up, guys? We're just talking about some stuff. Boom. Boom indeed. Boom indeed. Unico really crapped a bit. Yeah, see? Okay, so y'all aren't. I was still gonna feel bad if I was the only one hating on Unico and what they said. And I'm not hating on them per se, but I'm just like, that's not really an announcement. And if you're gonna tease an announcement, tease the type of announcement. You can expect another physical product announcement from us this week. Stay tuned. That kind of stuff. Not just, the buttons, that's like a side note. That's something you do later. But they're trying to build hype. I just think that a small company like that, you don't build hype that way because it just now I'm sleeping on that. I don't care. I'm like, well, just whatever. Somebody feel me there. Hello, how you doing? Good evening. Enjoy your. Well, I am, sir, and I hope you are partaking of a beverage of your choice as well. Sit back, relax, and have some discussion about what we've seen and what we can look forward to this week. Faux show and today, Robo Grunt. What's up, man? How you doing? Let me scroll down a little bit and just get caught up here. Mike Hawk hurts. Such incremental news should not be hyped in advance. Yeah. Zhang from Arcade is, well, that's true. He's as guilty as anyone of hyping up big announcements just to reveal R-Type and Burger Time and Kung Fu Fighter. It's just, that's another thing where they sell you one product and they got and the games is it. So they got to hype up their games. But, you go on the website, which like I did today, and you look at what they got. I'm still not, I want to love that product. I do. I want to love that. I like the idea. That was some of my original sort of suggestions for Arcade1up, is to have a product where it's like a downloadable service, but the marquee games just aren't there for me. They're just not. They feel more like those filler games when you buy a Pandora's box and it's got like 1,000 games and you really want to play like 75. And everything else is just weird and you don't know what it is. And it turns out to be a game you already know, but it's a different name. Or they're playing the same game, but it's upside down. I mean, it's just weird stuff. Weird stuff. Guys, for real, Arcade1up got the Model N DK cab. There's your Donkey Kong cab. Donkey Kong or MK? What are you talking about? Get the Model W cab. There's your Robotron cab. Everyone keeps wanting them. Well, there they are. There they are. Have to check out Arcade1up again and see. I think we may be wanting something. So, well, I mean, not me personally. I'm not afraid. Jeff, cheers. How you doing? I'm not really at all worried about. I'm not intimidated by putting something together. So a kit from anybody is it's how I got started. When I started to step away from my full size arcades because I just couldn't. Yeah. I mean, you all know the pains of a full size arcade collection. It's a lot of maintenance, a lot of room. Dreamcast Kyle, my brother, what's up, man? I think Unico has a product that is under NDA. It seemed like they wanted to talk about something but couldn't. I agree, couldn't because they were saving it for something, or couldn't because they legally couldn't. I don't know why. But I think that if you're sort of trying to build up hype, that's not the way you do it. I think they're working on something. I can't imagine that they would have a product like that, which I think was a quality product that has experienced some success, in my opinion. You're not going to want to sleep on that. You're not going to want to just go, okay, one and done. I think you're going to want to build on that momentum that you have, because I think that they have momentum. I think that there is some sort of a weird hodgepodge combination of products there where maybe I don't want to buy 5 Arcade1ups to get every Capcom game that I want to play. Maybe I want to go with something like Unico and pay $500 or $600 maybe, but I get one cab and I've got 50 Capcom games. I could envision a pretty comprehensive collection of Unico cabs where it's just SNK, Capcom, Konami, and just so forth and so on, Midway, and go all the way down. And with each one, so you could still potentially have 5, 6, arcade machines, but each one has a very comprehensive list of games within a certain publisher, so that it is still sort of, it makes some sort of sense, instead of just like a fighting cab and a shooter cab and a beat 'em up cab, which could sort of, things kind of tend to cross over. But if you go with a publisher, okay, well, I'm a Capcom fan. Boom. I like this. I like that. And you could have a very 50 games, a bunch of arcade cabinets that have 50 games. That's pretty awesome. And if they're all within the same umbrella of a company, I think that at least in my mind, and everybody's going to be a little bit different as far as what they want. But I think that would make a lot of sense for the collector. I mean, some of us are very biased to certain publishers. Of course, then the issue may become where that game that you love has changed hands a couple times, and it's it was this, it was that, there was some consolidation, and it was Midway, but now it's not anymore. Where to go? And so how do you get this? So maybe that could have its own hurdles. But I think all these these arcade machine companies, I guess that's a right way you would say that. I think they all have that same challenge. Locking up the licensing in some way, whether it's just for their product or to be part of a collection. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Marvel Comics in the 90s, early 90s, when they were, in bankruptcy, before the movies came out, before you had the MCU and all that, and they were selling off Marvel. So that's how we got, Marvel versus Capcom, because Marvel was just selling off their properties, trying to make some money. They were doing whatever they could to get some money going. That's why all their characters were at all these different studios. Fox had the X-Men, and Sony had Spider-Man, and Marvel decided to break off and take their small characters and do their own thing. But you had I forget who had Blade. Was that Sony? Lionsgate. Not sure, but Blade had his own thing, you know, so that's what they were doing back then. So it's sort of like that now, where Marvel, when they decided to get all the stuff under one house, they had to wait for contracts to lapse and all that. So we could see some of that reconsolidation by these other companies for their IPs, their games out there, and allowing those contracts to lapse and come back, and where we could in a few more years see more comprehensive cabinets from everybody. Not just a Unico. It could be Arcade1up, where you're getting 20 games per cab. $500, 20 games. Now things start to make a little more sense. 20 arcade ROMs on a cab where you're charging $50. Now it's like, okay, you know, can I get a riser? Yeah, you can get a riser. Can I get the light up deck protector? Well, maybe. What about a stool? Okay, now you're pushing it. But you see what I'm saying? It in this fourth or fifth wave, could we see, you know, potentially? I think that's how you make things fresh, because you can't just keep spinning your wheels. And some of these games, we're going to go over some of these games lists. I think they're doing some of that. They're sort of spinning their wheels. 8-bit agrees. 8-bit agrees indeed. Yeah, I'm anxious to see what they have to say, man. Oh, there's always somebody. There you go. Killer Instinct. I'm telling you, everybody's Killer Instinct. Everybody wants Killer Instinct. You know why everybody wants it? Because you said it. Arcade1up back in January. You said it. You teased it. We're dying. We want to know. Tell us. Is it weird that these other cabinets came out? Not really. When you think about the cabinets that come out, with the exception of the Simpsons, nothing is new here. It's all what they have, what they have had. What they have had? Yeah. What they had, what they've had. So, you know, it's like, I really think they're saving those cabs, X-Men and Simpsons to some part, but Killer Instinct, if they had a big booth this year with that giant arcade machine, I think it would have to be Killer Instinct, don't you? Big giant Killer Instinct, where somebody was playing that, you know, that would be the centerpiece of the booth, I think, for sure. Obviously, it's not that kind of an E3, but I would think that would be the showcase. I believe that has to be it, right? So we'll see. We'll see. I'm really counting on something. I think there's something else waiting in the wings, and I'm not sure what it is. Is it possible that we could be getting another show? I mean, listen, they announced the stuff in January. The cabs we're still talking about and having everything. Is it possible that we could get an announcement at E3 that doesn't produce anything until January of next year? I mean, possibly. I don't know. I think that, listen, like I said, we're still talking about Killer Instinct, right? Could they be teeing up something else? Hey, we have all these cabinets coming out. Here's release dates. Here's dates you can pre-order. And Time Crisis. Or for me, Alien vs. Predator. But, you know, everybody's got their thing. But next big shooter cab. Next big racing cab. Only Arcade1up has it. Boom. Possibly. I don't think it would. I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibility. Why isn't? Yes. Where's Dragon's Lair? I think a lot of people want to know. Where's Space Ace? A lot of people want to know. Maybe those 4 are going to be front and center showcased. Well, 5, I guess, with the exception, with, you know, the addition of the Simpsons. Remember, we still have all those 2-player countercades, which I understand is a slightly new form factor, and I understand it's the same freaking games we had before, but it is something different. Are the sales for countercades there to justify it? I don't know. I mean, we saw those other countercades dropping to $50. It doesn't suggest that it's in super high demand, but you know, it's possible that there's a market there for that. So I can imagine we're going to have a lot of the countercades there, 2-player, 1-player variants, and then obviously we're going to have you know, the new stuff that was just released. I think they're going to have some of that when they do the little video. You're going to have to see that physically, you know, going on, somebody standing next to it and playing it. And then the stuff that they announced in January, we've got to, listen, you can't just pretend that. Like the legacy cabs, you can pretend that just went away. You didn't see that. But when it comes to those 4 cabs that they announced in January, you can't just sweep that under the rug. It's got to be brought up. You've got to address that. You've got to talk about it. You've got to acknowledge it in some way. You have to. You absolutely have to. Michael B, I'm with you. I actually like the Big Blue as well. I just got an alert that my friend just dropped it. Look at this guy. This guy, Drunk 3PO. And I love you, sir. Good man there. Thank you so much for stopping by, showing a little bit of love to the channel. I know you had a great week, man, and I'm happy for you. And of course, I got to hit you with a little bit of something. Let me get, oh, here you go. I'm going to hit you with this, buddy.
I'm afraid your path ends here.
Your path ends here. Ultra combo for an ultra guy. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Always good having you in the chat, buddy. So yeah, so you've got. I mean, it's just you. Like I said, you can't let that just slide by. You have to acknowledge that. You have to. Honestly, the announcements are crap. You're talking about Unico, David, because you're talking about Unico. Yeah, Brad, what's going on, brother? Yeah, the Mutant League football. The Mutant Football League coming to it and a matching cap. Yeah, I was just talking about that, Brad. That looked good, man. I mean, it really does. It's something that I touched on that briefly when I started the stream, but that was something when I was a Sega Genesis, kid gaming, that Mutant League football was something sort of predated NFL Blitz. It was a way to play football that was different. Maybe you didn't have the licensing, and it was a cool spin on it. So I'm excited to see what that game looks like. I mean, we did see a little bit of a preview, but I want to see some more gameplay, and I want to check that out because it's man, dude, that could potentially be a whole lot of fun. And Arcade once again working that niche. They're trying. They got two fingers on my wallet right now. They're trying to get I'm slapping it. No. But they're right there. I'm telling you, they're right there. Hey, buddy, Brickraw, man, thanks for stopping by, dude. Good to see you. I'm doing good. How are you doing? Awesome live stream. Thank you, sir. Man, I appreciate it. Been a sub of your channel for quite some time, sir. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Yeah, Unico, we have a riser. Makes our cab adult size. Buttons that kind of work. A speaker that you can almost hear, but not quite. And iArcade blew them away today for sure. Yeah, I agree. I think, but listen, don't give Unico too much of a hard time. And I'm all about ragging on these companies when they deserve it. But at least they came out and said, listen, we are straight up acknowledging the fact that some of the speakers that we had people complaining about that. They weren't that great. They weren't that loud. So we upgraded the speakers. We also heard that our buttons sucked. So we got new buttons. The back panel you had to take the entire panel off, and that was causing some issues. So we separated our back panel. So now there you go. It would have been nice. And here's my thing. When I think it was David on that live stream was talking about, yeah, everybody's excited about software, but I'm talking about a hardware change. He said hardware. I'm thinking of a brand new control panel with 4 buttons, 4 legit Neo Geo buttons in that configuration. I'm like, they're going to change their control panel. Hell yes. No, they didn't. We're going to stick with the 6-button configuration, which is fine. But to me, that's like multicade. And there's nothing wrong with multicades, but that's not their niche. Unico was not making a multicade. Unico was making an SNK. They were making an SNK product. It was Neo Geo, baby. It was their stuff. So to have the big red cab without those 4 buttons and that layout was disappointing. I want that authenticity. I don't want to just have another 6-button layout, which is great for Capcom, not so great for Neo Geo for sure. Keep your head down, brother. Keep my head down. Stay off the high ground. I thought, well, no, that's not right, because Obi-Wan's had the high ground. And see, that got him far in life. So I think you got to go for the high ground. Seems to really, Majin Ian again, iArcade seems to really go all out to their announcements. With the consistent live streams, yeah, it's a great way to stay in touch with your fan base. I mean, it's just a great way to, hey, I know that I can tune in and get an update from them. What is their stream? Is it weekly? It's not weekly. I think it is weekly. It's a weekly stream. It shows they are proud of their product and believe in it. Yeah, I think so. And that's how you get a lot of people behind what you're doing. And for me, it really just comes down to the games list. That games list improves. I know I got people that are super hyped about their product and they believe in it. So I'm that much more willing to spend my cash. Once again, they got two fingers on the wallet. Keep working at it. And you just might get there. In the Hunt is one of the best shooters ever made, coming to iArcade. All right, okay, there we go. I have to check it out. I am, believe it or not, I'm not trying to hate on them, but oh, hey, thanks, man. Yeah, the Raiden 2 cap. Yeah, thank you. That was if you saw my video, buddy, that was made with the PS1. So I've been working on a PS Classic to replace the PS1, and I'll give everybody an update right now since I had a eagle-eyed person in the chat spot that. So and also if you're following me on Instagram, you see some of these pictures that I'm posting where I'm kind of giving some updates. I was able to, so I'm running Project Eris. Project Eris. I'm running on my PS Classic. I got the image. I ripped the ISO off the PS1 disc, put that on the PS Classic, and it plays great, with one exception, and it's weird. Okay, so with my monitor being that, I think it's 16:9. Yeah, 16:9 ratio. I think it's pretty much what it is. When I had the PlayStation 1 rocking the component cables, composite cables. When I rotated the image, it filled the screen. With the HDMI input, it's not filling the screen. So it rotates, but it's still maintaining its 4:3. So it doesn't take up the full screen. So I'm working on that. I don't know how to make that correction. So I like the low power consumption. Obviously, I like the fact that that's smaller, but stay tuned, because I did find, okay, so whoever asked about the encoder last week was talking about, hey, listen, did you get an encoder to work with your PS Classic? Because I can't find, and you're right, the cheap ones won't work. So with my encoders, and I was screwing around with this, making different notes and all that. So all my directional buttons are fine. That's not a problem. My directional buttons will work with the PS Classic. No matter the connection. So you have individual breakout points for up, down, left, and right, and you also have the main connection for the PlayStation connection. I'm not sure what that. It's just like it's a bigger chunk of a connector, and those both work just fine when it comes to directional buttons. But when it comes to the input buttons, start, select, XO square, triangle, I couldn't get any combination of my encoders to work. So I found an encoder that will work. It's $95. So I wanted to make sure that the image would work. It does. I got to get that image right before I think about that. But we're going to have to do another video, an update video, where we really discuss does this make sense to do that financially? I don't know. I'll keep you posted. I will keep you posted for sure. Yeah, Killer Instinct. Sold for sure. Gotta have it. Terry B, what's going on? Hey, how's the bourbon is good. I don't know if you were here at the very beginning of the stream, but we are drinking Four Roses. It's a single barrel, so it's a very good bourbon indeed. Single barrel implies that it's all from the same barrel, so you have a very consistent flavor. And I broke that out because of E3. It is a celebration. A celebration indeed. So, Big Blue, I was hating on it. Now I might get the damn thing. I know stranger things have happened, but it's true. Okay, so moving on to The Simpsons. This is going to be kind of a short conversation. Well, maybe not. But I don't know. Maybe not. Simpsons. We know what we know, right? It's going to be live. It's going to have 2 games. They didn't reveal, for some weird reason. All the reports that we saw did not list what the second game is going to be, but we all know what the second game is going to be. It's going to be Simpsons Bowling. If you've never played the game, don't worry. I haven't either. As far as the bowling, I have not played that game. Doing some research, we talked about the button. It's going to be Wi-Fi enabled, but on some of these cabs, they have a live button. A button you hit to go live, similar to the NBA Jam cab. But with this one, there was a red button, and I thought that wasn't a live button. I thought that the Wi-Fi was probably going to be similar to what we have in the X-Men versus Street Fighter cabs, where you got to go into a different mode You got on a different screen. You have to play online. You don't just go live. And the reason for that was, and I thought, but I didn't know at the time, but I had to confirm this, is that there's actually another button when you bowl with the Simpsons bowling game. It's not just the big roller in the middle. There's another button that you have to have. So I guess they didn't remap that to one of the other buttons. They just gave it a dedicated button. So I think that's what the big red button is going to be. You're going to have your roller in the middle for the actual bowling process, and then the red button, I think that's to confirm your shot. So when you're ready to go, you hit that and then you bowl. So I think that's what that's going to be. $5.99 for a cabinet with Wi-Fi and 2 games. Think about that for a second. I know you're saying, but Fox, if it was Alien versus Predator, wouldn't you pay $600? Listen, guys, everybody has that game where they would do that, and maybe I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna play hard and be like, nah, hell no. Listen, I might. I hope that I have a little more wisdom than that, though. I hope that I would have higher standards. Let's have at least 5 games on it before I spend, that much money. But if it was Alien versus Predator and everybody's got that game, that's it's got a special place in their heart, I might. Simpsons, maybe that for you. But let's think about this just for a second. 2 games. The Simpsons, which is a really fun game, really fun beat 'em up game, and Simpsons Bowling, which, if you've seen the game, it's not like you're playing, Silver Strikers or whatever. You're not playing something. You're not playing like a legendary bowling game. It's just a bowling game that happens to have like a Simpsons, attached to it. $600 for 2 games. I don't think that's a good deal. It was okay for $400 when it was the Ninja Turtles, and it was the first 3rd gen game that ever came out, and it was the first 4-player cab that ever came out. People were losing their minds, but that was it. I don't even think it was initially $500. I think it was always $399. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I could be wrong, but let's say for argument's sake that it was $400, because I know that mine was purchased for $350. So, was that because it was hard to find? It was a gift. It was a gift because I have people in my life that love me, and I hope you have people in your life that love you as much as I do, as to go out and get a big ass video game for you. So I don't know. I just don't. For me, it's got to really be. It's got to really be the right game, I think. I don't think at this point in the Arcade1up life cycle of products that $600 for 2 games is going to be worth it. I just don't see it. I think that bowling game, the gameplay that I've seen, it doesn't operate smoothly. Bowling games themselves, I enjoy. Bowling games are fun. Tekken, what was it? Tekken Dark Resurrection on the PlayStation Portable had a bowling game that I played the hell out of. I've got a bowling game on my phone. Played the hell out of it. Love it. I've got a bowling game on my Apple TV. Bowling is not the issue. Bowling games themselves, video games, are fun. But that one it's kind of clunky. It just is. I think the selling point to that is that it's Simpsons. And I don't know that justifies the cost. I mean, the replay value may not be there. Of course, I could be wrong. If that's your thing, more power to you. More power to you. Did I see my brother in here? Snowdub. There he is. Snowdub. What's up, brother? How you doing? And yes, please smash the like button. I think so too, Michael. I apologize. Some people don't like to be called Mike. Some people like to call Michael, and you put that name in there. So I'm gonna call you Michael. Yeah. I think there's more coming. I think it's not outside the realm of possibility to, just expect something completely different. The Fist of Love Fist, could just take a PS. Yeah. So I could take a PS. So I took this one apart. There's not a board inside per se. It's more of like a ribbon cable. If that makes sense. and then it connects to, this is actually, for those of you who don't know, so if you've got one of these, or if you see one of these used or something, it's got this cool little PlayStation, and it says Sony, and it looks just like a PS1 connector there, but that's USB. If you take this apart, you know what's on the other end? A micro USB. So my point is that if you see one of these at a garage sale or something, or for cheap or whatever, or if you've got two and you only have, you're the only one that plays it, take it apart, because that would be kind of be a really cool, phone charger cable. I mean, that's come on. I mean, that's awesome. But yeah, when you take this apart, it's just a micro USB connector inside. So the micro USB connects to a little, small little circuit board, and then that is attached to like a ribbon cable. So I guess my point is there's no good solid solder point. I thought about that too. Like, well, what the hell? I'll just get in here and I'll just break that out inside my cabinet and then just wire to that. It's not that simple. Well, let me put it this way. My soldering skills are not that good. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the problem. Yeah, it's possible. Awesome. Sounds tasty. Come on over, man. I'll pour you a shot. I am not afraid to share. For sure. You mean you do not push the button to live? Well, some people push your buttons, but you still live. So if they push your button, then they die. So maybe you push the button to die? Yeah, 8-bit. Yeah, I like the Simpsons cab, but see that, brother, I'm with you. I like it. I mean, that's not the issue. This is the reverse of the Big Blue, where I'm digging the art. I like the fact that they got the roller in the middle, and we're gonna have a different type of game. I like that. But I mean, dude, $600? Because I'm not a big fan of Wi-Fi, to be honest with you. I think it's a neat feature. I think it's a nice addition. It does add replay value, but I'm not like dying for Wi-Fi. I'm just not, because then somebody else I know has got to have the cab so that me and that other person can play, So I'm not real big on Wi-Fi personally, other than to see, because I'm obviously not that good either. Some of my skills are not at their peak. They're not where they should be. So when I look at those leaderboards, it's sad and it makes me cry. Well, I don't cry, but I understand I'm not that good. And listen, I do like hanging out and having fun and getting my ass beat is sometimes part of that, but that's all right. That's all right. Some of you are just more dedicated than I am, and it's fine. But yeah, those cabs should stay at 400 like they used to. Yeah, I mean, end of the day, you're getting 2 games. There's just not that value there. So yeah, think about that one. Seriously, think about that one. $600 for 2 games. Remember, some of us don't think that their pinball machines are worth $600. And you're getting a completely different form factor with multiple screens, and you're getting 10 games. And some people are like, I'm not going to pay $600 for that. So then you're going to pay $600 for Simpsons? And if you do, that's fine. It's your money. I'm not going to give you a hard time. But for me personally, I'll take an ugly ass Big Blue cabinet with 12 games, 12 games that I want to play. Because that's replay value for me, not just the same games with more features, which is one way to tackle that. Another way to tackle that is to have more games, more variety, especially with some oddball games that you don't play that much. Going on to the 1981, the Miss Pac-Man Galaga split class of 1981 cab. Man, I did not think that this one was going to have any love whatsoever, but it does. It actually does. And that just goes to show you that while we complain that we keep getting Pac-Man cabs, and these Namco cabs, it's because they sell, obviously. I mean, there's excitement still there. So let's check this one out real quick. And I want to talk about something that, that I noticed. We keep talking about these Pac-Man cabs and all that. And the Namco Legacy is the one we're going to compare. We're actually going to compare the Namco Legacy to this new machine just announced. Now, right off the bat, I talked about, you listened. I talked about it. Maybe you didn't agree with me. I don't know. I talked about the fact that maybe we could see these legacy cabs being replaced, pretend like they didn't happen, push off to the side. What's the one legacy cab that you can get now everywhere? the Namco Legacy cab. You can pick that up everywhere. Lowe's still has the cab, the Namco Legacy cab. You can get it anywhere. So, that being said, look up here. Every other cab, these new cabs, July 1st is when you can pre-order. This one you can't pre-order until August. I know it's just a month away, but they don't even say August 1st. So does that mean they realize that there's a lot of Namco Legacy cabs out there in the wild and they're trying to get those sold off before they introduce this product or offer this for pre-order? Perhaps. That's my theory. My theory is they've pretty much stopped production of all Legacy cabs. So they know whatever they got out there is whatever they got out there. So maybe they're working on a solution for the Midway Legacy, but they got the Capcom solution in the big blue, at least for now. And the Namco, oh man, people just aren't buying those. They're still out there. I wonder why. Because there's a million Pac-Man cabs, I guess. But anyway, it's out there. So let's look at this games list real quick. And I want to bring something to your attention in regards to the Legacy cab. So we're going to compare these games lists between this and the Namco Legacy. And I'm going to make an argument that this cab is a much better Namco Legacy cab with one omission. So let's scroll down. I think they have these games actually broke out. So these games broke out a little bit easier to read. So obviously we're going to have in this cab Miss Pac-Man and Galaga. We're also going to have Galaga 88. We're going to have Dig Dug 1 and 2, Galaxian, Mappy, Rally X, which is going to be available on the new countercade they have coming out. Roller Thunder, Rompers, Tower of Draga, I don't know, whatever. And King and Balloons. So this is what you get with this cabinet here, right? But then when you jump over to the Namco Legacy, let me scroll down here. Bear with me just okay. Namco Legacy, check this out. They kind of suffered from what we saw with the Capcom Legacy, where you got a bunch of all the front-loaded games are one genre, right? You got Pac-Man, Pac-Land, Pac-Man Plus, Super Pac-Man, which is on the countercade that I just pre-ordered. So look forward to that review. That's going to be a pretty interesting little countercade. Pac-Pal, Pac-Mania. That's just your first 6 games are Pac-Man related. Then you have Galaxian, Galaga, Dig Dug 1 and 2, Mappy, and Rompers. Here's the thing, right? So when you look at this cab, this Namco Legacy cab right here. So the last 6 games on this are available on the 1981, the new class of 1981 cab coming out. These last 6. So all the non-Pac-Man games are going to be on the class of 1981. And then you get all the other games. You got like the Rally X and Rolling Thunder. That's different. Tower of Draga. I know I'm butchering that. King of Balloon, which I have no idea, but that's variety, I guess. Galaga 88 is what you're getting. And Miss Pac-Man, obviously. So, it's almost like which one's the better Legacy cab. I think that you can't necessarily call the class of 1981 a Legacy cab if you're not going to have at least one Pac-Man game. You got Miss Pac-Man, you got to have at least one Pac-Man game. So you can't maybe call it that. That's definitely what it's missing. That's the one omission. But you got a whole hell of a lot of crossover. 6 games from that cab are crossing over. And that's some of the complaints that people have. Like they keep recycling games and you have bleed over and crossover and all that. But if you're talking about replacing cabs that are in the wild now, this is a good way to start. This is a really good way to start. You still got Pac-Man 40th anniversary out there if people want that Pac-Man specific cab. But if you're looking for Namco Legacy, this could be that replacement. It's already got that same form factor. It's got a better, a more comprehensive list of games. You've got the variety there, in my humble opinion. So, yeah, interesting. Can't order it till August. Interesting. But I just wanted to make that little comparison because it's interesting. Hey, Becky, babe, how you doing? Good to see you, Becky. I'm drinking 4 Roses single barrel tonight. I am talking about some games, talking about E3, excited about what's happening. Thank you so much for stopping by. I do appreciate it. I'm stopping by my little channel. $600 cabs, it makes me thirsty for some bourbon. Well, that's a good thing. Because I just so happen to have one right here. Oh, it's getting light. It's getting light. We got to finish it up. My drink's almost done. All right. We got to finish it up with this one. I don't know how y'all feel about this. I need your help. This is going to be called some group therapy. Game Broker 84. Got like an 88 though. Listen, I'm not hating on it. I think it's a good cab. I think the 1981 cab, the class of 1981, is going to be something that I'm calling it the Namco Legacy replacement. I think people are going to gravitate towards something like that better. But no, this last cab, dude, y'all gotta help me out with this. I gotta take a drink. I got my hands on a third gen, but it was the first 4-player cab. I was talking about it before it came out. Got it for a gift. It's Ninja Turtles in all of its glory. It's the classic artwork. It only has 2 games, but it was just, that's what you wanted, you know? If you were into Turtles, that's what you wanted for that arcade machine. Then it disappeared. People couldn't find it. I think it went on. I don't know that it actually went on sale. I think they all sold at that price. There might have been some out there, some outliers, whatever. But it was Ninja Turtles. People loved it, and immediately, you know, everybody's clamoring for it. And that was another thing I talked about going into Arcade1up's Twitter and Facebook, you know, pages, and looking at all the comments, and they would talk about Killer Instinct. Another one they would always talk about would be Ninja Turtles. When are you going to re-release this? When is this coming back out? When is this going to be back in stock? I think that was a very, very popular cab. Obviously, sold out pretty quick. So you got these people clamoring for this cab. I'm walking myself into this because I'm trying not to just lose it. You got this cab that has a built-in fan base. People are clamoring for it. You could have re-released the same damn cab, charged $400 for it, and people would have bought it up like crazy. But you decided to change it up because you want to go with this new 4-player layout. You want to go with this new side cab design. Fine, whatever. Instead of going with the tried and true thing you know works. You pick the same 2 games. You pick the least popular of the game, or at least as far as the artwork is concerned. You take the least popular artwork from those 2 games. You slap that on the side. Throw a Wi-Fi antenna in there. And want to charge people $600. Now, at least with the Simpsons cab, you're getting a second game that is obviously so radically different that it necessitates an entirely different controller with that rollerball, right? At least that's something. But you're releasing the same damn games, except with Wi-Fi. How are you going to justify the $200 increase? How? It's a slap in the face to people that have just been dying for that original cab. They're looking at this new one coming out. They're like, well, I don't really like the Turtles in Time artwork, but I guess it's still Turtles, and I missed out on that first one. I'm dying. Wait, what? It's going to be what? Well, what if I don't want the Wi-Fi? No, sorry, you can't have it. You can't have it without the Wi-Fi. You got to have the Wi-Fi. So people are just, I mean, it's disappointing. I hate that for the people that really wanted it, man. I wanted everybody to have the same cab that I had because I think it's a great cab. I think at that $400 price point, $350, $300, it was great. It was only 2 games, but remember, you were getting, it was the first time we get the 4-player control panel. Also, it didn't have a lit marquee. I had to add that lit marquee. So it was missing a lot of stuff. But like I said, it was that first sort of their first foray into the 4-player game. And you're going to re-release it and you're going to charge people that much money. It's ridiculous. That's wrong. To do that to people that have been dying for it, they're waiting for it, they can't find it. Some people have probably paid scalper prices on eBay, or Facebook Marketplace where somebody had one boxed up and they sold it for $600 or $700 and people bought it. And now you're going to finally re-release it, which is basically what this is. This is a re-release with a different side panel, and you're going to charge people that much. That's insane. Same 17-inch monitor, same speakers, everything's the same except for the side panels, and the artwork is different, and you got a Wi-Fi antenna. Why? Why would you do that? That's not right. That's not right. 2 games at this point shouldn't even be an option. Not for the price point you're asking. And I don't even think at $400 at this point, 2 games is right. It's legit. At least with the X-Men cab, we're getting those 4 games. I'm sorry, 3 games. We're getting 3 games. 2 games are good. The 3rd game, but at least it's 3 games. But even there, I still have some issues. So I'm really disappointed in that. That game should have come with something else. Some other Konami game. Something. What? I don't know. But it's, it doesn't have to be a Ninja Turtles game. There could be some variety there. Some other Konami beat 'em up. But it's just, I feel like the people that are going to buy this now are not getting a better deal. They're kind of getting the shaft. They're getting the short end of the stick, and it's not right. It's just not right. Hey, Stephen C., what's going on? How you doing? Great show, 19K Fox. Look forward to bourbon nights on Sundays. Thank you so much. I'm sorry you are trapped in Canada where you have to pay high prices for these arcade one-ups. It's not right. It's ridiculous. I'm going to petition somebody. I'm not sure who, but I'm working on that, and we're gonna get you we're gonna get you taken care of. It's not right. Thank you so much for the $5, and I'm gonna hit you with a little full gore. So glad that you are looking forward to these nights. Guys, gals, people, I love spending this time with y'all. It's great to be able to kick back and talk about this stuff. It's a lot of fun for me. But yeah, so Ninja Turtles, $600. Lost your damn mind. Lost your damn mind. Indeed.
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
So let's wrap it up real quick. We got to wrap it up. You know why? Because
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
cocaine is a hell of a drug. So we obviously had a lot to look forward to. I hope you've been saving up your money, counting your pennies, because July 1st is on its way. We got some cabs that we need to buy. I need to buy. Maybe we don't need to buy them, but we're going to, because we're giant man babies, and we don't. This is just what we do. This is what we do. So, cat's out of the bag. I'm going to let you know I'm going to be trying like hell to get a big blue cab. That's the one for sure. That's the one for sure. Simpsons. I don't know, kids. I don't know. Unless they sneak another game in, maybe. But Big Blue for sure. Of course, I've already got the Super Pac-Man countercade. That's like they took the money out of my account. Target did, so I'm assuming that's gonna be on its way pretty soon. That's gonna be fun. So look for that review. I think it's gonna be fun. We're gonna crack that open. I'm gonna show you the inside. We're gonna test out the headphone jack and see if that actually works and works well. I think it's gonna be a good addition. Still going to figure out the bugs with the Raiden 2 cab. We're going to try to get that image to stretch for the PS Classic. See if I can't get that figured out. If I can get that looking the way I want, I'm going to go ahead and make that purchase and get that encoder in so I can get that to you so you can see exactly what you're going to have to deal with and what those prices are. Alien vs. Predator cab is actually coming along really well. I got the majority of the control panel together. I'm mounting some of the circuit boards in the inside the control panel. The idea is to take everything that was in this Capcom home arcade and incorporate that into the actual the actual stock control panel itself. So we're just going to have the outputs, all the power, the HDMI, and everything is going to come right out of the bottom side of that control panel. So that's going to be good. I've run some of the wire, some of the power side, transformers in place. I'm running some of that now. And then I'm going to do a functions check probably next weekend. So I want to get a video to you. We're probably going to look at 2 more parts to the Alien versus Predator. I want to get a video that's like a proof of concept that is a full functions check showing you that it works. And that'll be the control panel function, or the control panel portion of the build. And then we'll probably have a final part where we do our side art. We finalize our wiring. We lock everything down. We're making some changes to the control panel. I'm adding buttons, but I'm doing it in a very stock-looking way, or at least I think is stock. I'm actually using stock buttons to maintain a certain consistency of look. I'm adding volume controls and power switches that are different in the stock locations to keep that, like I said, as stock as possible, because this is going to sit right next to all my other Arcade1ups, and I want that to have a consistent look. Oh, Miss Janine, how are you? Miss Harris? I just hope that Arcade1up don't forget their fans. Yeah, well, you got to wonder, don't you? You have to, with these prices, you got to wonder, are they leaving us behind? Are they forgetting about us? Are they losing sight of what's important? It's a valid question you're asking. It is, because you got to think, I don't know. But anyway, the arcade, the Fox Arcade, the spot that we're going to have the arcade is now available. So you're going to see some videos of us going over there. We're going to do some preliminary walkthroughs. We're going to see what it's going to take to get this thing stripped down and prepared to become the awesome arcade that we know it can be. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy E3. Look for little videos where I'll be commenting on stuff, and I will see you back here next Sunday for another episode of the Bourbon and the fun and the conversation. Y'all be good. I'll see you next time.